Hi, I'm Soph's Comet, or Soph, or Sophie, whatever you'd like to call me, and welcome back. If you're new here, this is the second episode of The Dark Side of the Art World, which is a new YouTube series I've been in the process of making all by myself. It's about problems within the art community that other people may DM me about or comment about, or just want me to shed some light on my opinions on it and also be their voice in a way. I just wanted to start this off by saying, what? I am very surprised with the responses, the positive responses to my last video. At most, I was probably expecting like 20 views, one like, maybe one comment, but no, it means a lot to me. I am super excited because this time we can get a little bit controversial.
I can wear her skin over mine.
With much more interesting topics this time. As per usual, I will have to say the disclaimer, which is essentially most content in this series is just my opinion, is not to be taken literally, and honestly just enjoy, and feel free to comment your opinions on these things, or if you think I'm wrong, tell me, like it's okay. Whew, it is so warm in here. Let's not waste any more time. Here are the timestamps if you would like them, as I'm aware people are more looking forward to certain topics than others. I'm mainly saying this because I know people are super passionate about AI and AI art and their opinions on that, and so am I. So if you honestly want to skip all the way to the end to get to that segment, I do not blame you. However, it is a long, angry rant. So yeah, let's get into the first topic. Alright, so to start this off, we're gonna go over the whole fixing art thing. This is a surge I kind of recently noticed, and it's essentially where people fix other artists' art without their permission. You may argue it's constructive criticism. In my opinion, it's a bit different when the criticism isn't asked for or requested by the artist. Therefore, I think it's just plain disrespect disguised as like a good deed that wasn't asked for. And I can kind of maybe get my head around it being a mistake, and a young artist may have accidentally thought this was like a trend, or maybe just didn't comprehend things too properly, or didn't think properly beforehand. And to that, can I ask you, think and ask before you do things regarding anyone else's artwork that is not your own. Please and thank you. The next topic is purchasing art is for rich people only. I can't help but shake the feeling art is treated as if it's this lifelong investment that you need to save up for. Now, much like any other labour, the artist should charge for materials, time, and hard work, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people may also agree with those statements, I hope. Due to this rising myth, I've noticed people dissing the prices of small businesses and young artists like myself. I would also touch on how AI contributed to this massively, but I'm saving a massive segment for that, and you can skip to that if you're interested. As much as I can see in some instances where super famous artworks are probably definitely overpriced, don't lumber every other artist on that hate train as well. Everyone must start somewhere, whether that's £10, £20, £50 or more for a commission. I don't like non-artists commenting against these things unless it's specifically asked for, or if it's definitely correct and it's valid criticism. Some artists are even lowering their prices due to hate about this, and it's just not great in general. Now, onto art thieves. We all know that this is taking and claiming pieces that aren't yours. However, failing to credit artists can blur those lines between genuine mistake and theft pretty easily and pretty quickly. I admit finding the origins of some work can be horribly difficult at times. I know this since I'm currently in college and it's required for certain things, but you should always try your best to credit the artist no matter what, because it is incredibly sad when, just imagine your work is used for something and you're just not given
credit.
This is not a nice feeling, and people should definitely try and deep dive to find origins of work more often than they do, especially amongst younger artists, because they might not be aware of the impact that it has. And of course, as you get older, you are expected to do this, so it's a good habit to get into. Let's talk about art style hating. You're allowed to not like certain things, for sure. For example, I don't like caricature art. I think it's a bit scary. But you don't see me commenting, "this sucks," on like every caricature, art-related thing that I see. Just accept that you're probably not the target audience, and that's completely okay, and you should probably move on. Commenting about how someone's art style is weird or inconsistent or ugly can be extremely damaging to learners and drive them away from their originality and possibly forming an incredible art style in the future. Because often or not, the weirdness that people tend to pick up on and comment on when they're hating are little quirks that are going to improve over time and will be turned into something amazing. So the next time you see someone hate on someone's art style and it just was rude, take the time to correct them. I don't care if you look like a Karen, I don't care, I just don't care. You should correct them and tell them that, hey, this could be something amazing in the future. So just don't be a hateful person, it's not too hard. Now, I am fully aware that art in general is a huge umbrella term, and I'm probably not speaking for every single art-related term possible. However, something I definitely failed to touch upon last time was textiles and fashion and stuff like that, because I do have a friend who is into that and I wanted to definitely say something about this. In the textiles community, there seems to be a stigma that it's kind of like a grandma craft, which may put people off automatically from even starting or practicing this craft. I've seen a rise in influencers testing dropshipped fashion and spending so much money on the shipping that they could actually spend it on a small business that's cruelty-free, etc., and actually get a decent product. I would imagine for anyone in the textiles community, this is quite a discouraging thing to see all the time, and it may make them feel afraid that they'll drop in sales, that textiles and real eco-friendly products may just stop being made because of people not buying it. Now, I'm fully aware that not everyone can afford certain things. It's just a little disheartening for people who practice fiber arts and maybe they've practiced their whole life, which is usually the case of a lot of artists. Now, the life of the wear on fast fashion, specifically Shein clothes, are so low that people will wear it once or twice before it will start to shed and break. Spending money on something more expensive will get you an item that will last a lifetime. Plus, mending and repairing clothes before throwing it away is something that people should definitely get into a lot more. And of course, if you don't have the money to spend on certain businesses or expensive items that are actually good for the environment and etc., just hits every tick box in general. Thrifting is always an incredible alternative, and I have found a few gems thrifting recently. I'm a little bit addicted. If you live in the UK like I do, you would know that a lot of our charity shops are not the best. However, I should encourage you and will encourage you to never just not go in them because you think there's only going to be
Grandma
clothes or like things that are not your style, because you will get pleasantly surprised one day. I went in this charity shop that I was not expecting to find anything in. It was not looking promising, it was looking like your typical UK charity shop. By the way, it was the British Heart Foundation, if you're wondering. And I found such a gem just by flicking through some things and making some adjustments. And yeah, a lot of the time in fashion and textiles and clothing and stuff like that, you need to be inventive and you need to start thinking inventively just for the wellness of everyone and everything around you. Let's talk about comparison. Comparing yourself to other artists at a different level to you is completely normal. I did it too, even to the extent of copying their style, which I think is also normal too. Copying, as long as you're not profiting from this copy, or if you're not literally tracing it and recoloring the original and then profiting off of it or claiming it as your own, is a great way to learn, especially if you're like a child. Learning by copying your favorite artists will help you improve and learn to embrace your own style eventually. People comparing artists to another artist to be mean is never okay. For example, saying this person's better than that, or this is so much better than the original, or stuff like that, you know, like it's just harmful in general, and no one really wants to hear that being said about their work. And it's often disguised as a compliment, and it's like said in a happy, cheery way that's supposed to be like a thing to celebrate, when really it's just a bit rude and it shouldn't be that way at all. The long-awaited topic, AI art. So for the record, I absolutely despise AI, and I always will. Anytime anybody uses it, my respect for them, honestly, just... AI is killing creativity and encouraging lazy, soulless work. If none of that makes any sense to you, I fear you never understood what art is in the first place, and you probably never will because you're too shallow. This next segment is for those people who do genuinely believe that, or if you just want to listen in general. The reason this doesn't affect you and you feel as though you can laugh in artists' faces about this is because you are lazy and never took us seriously. You see it as a why should we be complaining when the work is literally done for you type of thing. One, by definition, that AI laziness that you love so much is not art. It's just bot-generated theft that's been made accessible. 2, just because you'd rather be lazy and slack off doesn't mean artists want that too. In fact, the process and the human experience is what makes art so special, and you cannot take that away from us. 3, you just don't get it, and that's completely okay. But don't complain the next time your grandma gets scammed by AI because it's gotten too realistic. My opinion on AI artists are as follows. Imagine you're about to cross a zebra crossing that's busy, but you've never seen or heard of one before. So the concept is like completely alien to you. You don't know what a zebra crossing is. You look and you see the red man and press a button and you go, hey, I made the red man turn green. That must mean I'm an artist. You did absolutely nothing but press buttons on a screen for 5 seconds to get regurgitated, stolen work thrown back at you to claim your own. You are not an artist, you're a thief. Respectfully. Let's debunk some arguments I regularly hear from AI art defenders. Okay, but you use Google and that's bad for the environment too. Alright, I appreciate the effort, but I personally don't. I use a browser called Ecosia, which actually helps plant trees for every search. Now, Google does use up energy, don't get me wrong, but it is significantly less than using AI or ChatGPT. Google is like a massive dictionary. It retrieves the information because it already has the information. It doesn't need to overwork to find the answers. With AI or ChatGPT, you are forcing a new essay-like prompt response every time, using up an extortionate amount of energy when you could have literally just chosen not to do that. But you use TikTok, you have a phone, you've been on a vehicle that has used gas. Tell me you use ChatGPT to do your homework because of the lack of ideas and inability to stay on topic without saying you do. We're talking about AI. This is something relatively new that we didn't have before, that was not necessary whatsoever, and we were completely fine without. And don't get all smart on me trying to be like, oh, AI has always existed in little... I'm talking about AI and art, okay? AI can be helpful for some things, just it's not useful around here. It's concerning that people have an emotional connection to bots that just agree with whatever you tell them and compare it to inventions like the car, for example. Well, I use ChatGPT as a therapist because I can't afford one. That's very unfortunate, and I do feel for your situation, truly, but I am willing to bet any person, any Discord server, hotline, friend or family member that they would help you if you asked them. Plus, you'd get actual human responses rather than a bot just saying yes. in fancy ways every time you ask for advice on anything. It's just not worth it. I use AI for anatomy. Oh, buddy. There are countless resources at your disposal for anatomy. There's books, real people such as yourself to photograph, Pinterest and websites such as posemai.art, perspectivetools.com, Lines of Action and Quick Pose. I can't draw, so I use AI. So learn, practice. Just like anything, you don't just wake up and you're talented. You practice and inevitably fail and try again until you do something right. There is absolutely zero satisfying factor with using AI to generate artwork to claim as yours. There's no rewarding skill or feeling attached, you may as well just learn. There's so much media to learn from as well. You could even use these following games and websites: The Sims 4, Pick Crew, Mica, Custom Cast, Tokaboka, Pinterest, or just make a start and see where it takes you. Would you, or would you not, outright rip an artist's work from a gallery wall and smack your signature on it? No, you wouldn't. And if you're saying that you would, you are trying so hard to be different, and I feel bad for you. Anyway, that's exactly what you're doing by using AI. I also wanted to include this because I've been noticing it recently. I noticed rage baiters loving this topic, and I wanted to talk about it because I find it weird. Hey, maybe I just don't get it. Maybe it's just not my humour, but I just don't find it funny. An artist could just be sharing their work and boom, AI art defenders are filling up their comment section instead of recognising their work. Half the time, these people return back to their comment just to say, it was a joke, it was rage bait, when it was just giving us absolutely nothing and not even a sprinkle of comical sarcasm was included. Personally, I just don't think rage bait for this should even exist because I've never understood it in things that can't be seen in a funny light. Rage baiting friends with light-hearted things is different. Doing it just by saying an unfunny or rude comment with zero punchline to a stranger is just weird and odd, and it serves no purpose, and if you are actually trying to hate on them, you're just boosting their content. Now, to sum up on why you should just not use AI, it's destroying the environment, it's making people lazier and dumber, it's a tool for environmental racism, people can't tell if something is real or not anymore, it's made by stealing from artists and writers, etc., it's sending people into literal psychosis, and it's taking and replacing jobs. And you still have people defending AI by saying, you should just adapt to the new technology. I think I'm alright personally. AI should have no place in the creative fields, and precautions need to be put in place for its use, in my opinion. I think it should have been left to medical professionals and scientists. If you're telling and pressuring artists to get with it because they're uncomfortable with this, you're just being insensitive and ignorant, and you sound so incredibly uneducated. And of course we have the people saying, past creations were made like this, you need to just accept it. This is completely different. If it's not made by humans and only humans with their own brain and their own passion, it's not art. Again, this is theft that is being normalized because people don't want to pay artists anymore. And you wonder why we're mad. Good inventions don't steal from us. And I just wanted to end this off by saying the disrespect to artists in general is insane. Who made your favourite songs? Video games, movies, TV shows, artists, writers, directors, the list goes on. If you support AI art, you are supporting the downfall of all of those professions and roles. I've even seen AI model magazines where they use AI to replace the people and the clothes. I'm not going to reveal the company who's doing this because they are like massive, but it's just actually crazy to me how much people want to replace the creativity in our world and how much they just hate people who have nothing but passion and ideas in their hearts. AI is a tool. I repeat, AI is a tool. It has zero use here in the creative industry. Art itself is emotive, expressive, unique. AI is not. It is soulless and so problematic in my opinion. Let's talk about the effect of AI on artists well-being. AI has encouraged bullying towards artists' work who are good at what they do because they worked hard and they practiced. Art is practice, not just talent that was thrown at somebody. It's not about being amazing naturally, as it takes time. Artists nowadays have been pressured time and time again to prove their work is legit. It's sad, but sometimes people actually do post AI art and claim that they made it, while people who pour their heart and soul into their craft get slander for their lines looking a little bit wonky. I've heard of cases where someone publishes their artwork and someone else takes it, runs it through AI and profits off their rightful work. This is not okay, and the freaks of nature calling AI slop good need to realize where it's getting all of this artwork from. It's getting it from real artists. Let's talk about recent AI trends, such as the ChatGPT photo generating ones. I think they're horrendous. You cannot defend AI just by going, I only used it once for a TikTok and it's fake, so I'm not actually taking photographers' jobs. Okay, Susan, sit down. The fact you're using it once for a TikTok arguably makes this so much worse because of how unneeded it is, and you're contributing to a trend, therefore inspiring other people to do it and then encouraging others to not hire real people more. Do you see the cycle here? The common response given to anyone pointing out how harmful AI is in creative fields is always disrespectful, and almost no logic is ever involved. It's always something toxic like, and the world kept spinning. Well, actually it might stop spinning if you keep asking AI to answer your homework for you. AI is also actively discouraging people to buy real art, resulting in artists losing their jobs since AI is free. The Studio Ghibli trend upset me a lot too. The co-founder of Studio Ghibli himself said that AI art is an insult to life itself. I would never wish to incorporate this technology into my work at all. Art style is deeper than how somebody draws something. It can be the most vulnerable thing about them. If you seriously are in dire need of drawing yourself in a certain style, commission the artist. If you can't afford it, save up. And if you can't save up, just don't do it. People can't tell the difference between a real picture and an AI generated one nowadays. And it's getting really out of hand, in my opinion. And if you are worried about AI stealing your art, I would look into art poisoning. However, I'm yet to find a method that is 100% efficient and 100% free. So if you do know anything about that, comment. Alright, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you could connect with some of what I was saying. Please feel free to comment your opinions, and if you want like a part 3 for anything that you can think of, or you can suggest anything for me to talk about in this kind of topic. If you don't want the series to end, let me know and I will deliver. Oh, I'm gonna do myself. Oh, I can't say that. Okay. Also, I have a very exciting video idea coming up for you, as I may or may not have a couple new members of my family coming into the world. So I will make something to do with that. Yeah, my throat officially hurts and I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for the support again. I love you, and have a wonderful night, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is for you. I'm Soph's Comet, and goodbye.